Hi friends, it's been bloody ages. I hope you're doing really well. If you've got a spare 5 minutes, let's grab ourselves a cuppa and get reacquainted. Come on, let's go. So it's been a few years and I have to say I'm massively awkward talking to the camera, but I wanted to take a moment and connect and say hi. So, hi. Anyway, I'd like to share with you what I've been up to over the last few years, what I've been working on, as well as what my hopes and plans are for the future of this channel. So hopefully you're sat comfy and you've got yourself a cuppa because this may take a few minutes. Are you ready? Let's go. We left the UK in 2018 and slowly made our way to Portugal in our camper, Turk the Merc. Due to limited space, we left most of our belongings back in the UK in storage, but I still took some dolls with me. I was still heavily into my dolls and I took lots of photographs throughout the trip. We stayed for quite a while with some friends in France, which had a lovely farm vibe. Oh. Whilst there, we went to lots of boot fairs called brocons, great for finding treasures. We travelled slowly through France, every now and then staying in an Airbnb to freshen up for the night. We stumbled across some amazing places. The Pyrenees and northwest Spain being some of my favourite. When we got to Portugal, we headed right to the centre for an Airbnb that we booked for 2 weeks. Our intention was to travel around for a few months looking for somewhere to call home. But we loved this little village in the mountains so much that we didn't want to leave. So we didn't. When we first got here, I was still very much into my dolls. Not that I'm not still today, but I'll get into that later. But I no longer had access to the craft and supply shops that I was accustomed to back in the UK. Ordering online usually came with delivery issues, but something really good came out of this lack of supplies. It forced me to look at what I did have to work with in my natural environment, and now I'm obsessed with exploring and looking for treasures and researching what their potential uses are. At this point, it was wood. It started with a raft. I saw a photograph on Pinterest and I knew I had to recreate it. I used a patched up old sheet that I bought from one of the brocons in France because I loved the fact that someone had taken the time to mend it. And although it was no longer in a usable condition, I knew I wanted to use it for future craft projects. I had the best time doing this. I got so engrossed with setting it all up and taking the pictures that I ended up with sunburn. The next thing I made, still using wood and the old sheet, was this teepee. I loved making this. I've always been magically drawn to teepees, and man, I'd love to make a life-size one. This was a funny day. We went out for a picnic up in the mountains to set this one up. As I was setting it all up, a herd of goats came wandering out of the bushes along with the goat lady. Slightly embarrassing. But I bet she's never seen a fully grown woman setting up a miniature teepee with dolls while she was out walking her goats in the mountains before. I think the dolly crafting kind of hit a wall when we got our house because I had other life-size projects to be getting on with. It's been great having the freedom to put my mark on a place. Having always rented meant never being able to go too wild. Now it's a case of anything goes. I'm creating the house that the teenage me would have wanted and loved, because I don't think I really ever grew up, and I'm not sure if I want to. So we have hammocks and swings, and mouse houses and walls, and mushrooms growing out of wood, and street signs and rusty things, and soot sprites everywhere. And I mean everywhere. I can't show you all of them because my daughter hasn't found them all yet. Nowadays, I keep some of my dolls out on display as I see them more as posable, customizable ornaments. And possibly miniature versions of who I'd like to be. I'll be showing you later on in the video all the dolls that I currently have in my collection and what my plans are with them for the future. I'm so thankful that I stumbled across this hobby many years ago. It allowed me to get really creative and work with many different materials to create a vast array of things, which really works well with my attention span and my desire to craft. So this leads me to talk about what I want to do with my channel and why. For a long time, and I mean years, I got sucked into the 9 to 5, the day-to-day monotony. And I forgot to make time for the things that gave me the most joy, denying this real hunger to see and learn and create and experience new things. I feel as though I've wasted so much idle time on forgettable tasks. I want to let myself get excited about crafting again. And allow myself to enjoy the moment fully without worrying about the dishes. So along the way, I've been gathering footage of some of the DIY and craft projects I've been working on, with the intention of sharing with you guys some of the process in a kind of chilled out, laid back style. I've always loved watching people create things, and YouTube has always been invaluable for me when it comes to learning new crafts. And not just new crafts. Sometimes it goes so long between crafts that I very often forget the things that I've previously learnt, especially when it comes to formulas, recipes and things. So recording the process has really helped me, not only in remembering things myself, but in also in documenting the tips and tricks for me in future should I need it. Because when I get inspired by a new craft, not always, but sometimes I do a ton of research and I write everything down, like processes, recipes, people that have inspired me in the field. The trouble with that is, apparently I'm not great at keeping this research organised, despite having it all in files. So what ends up happening is I give up looking and end up researching it all over again. This is both time consuming and slightly annoying. So what I've decided to do to make life easier in the future is to type all my research up on the computer in a nice easy to read formula, so that when I come back to it, it's all there ready to get stuck back in. And I thought that this could be useful for some of you guys, so wherever possible I'll be sharing all the tips and tricks that I've learned, as well as the people that I've learned from along the way, so that you can go and check them out if you desire. Also, another reason why I want to restart my channel, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels like this, but since being a parent, I no longer feel that sense of invincibility that I used to feel when I was younger. And sometimes I find myself thinking of my own mortality and what effect that would have on my loved ones, especially my daughter. Now that I'm at that age where I've lost friends and people I know from various diseases, and I don't want to get depressing or too deep here, but when I think about it, my mind goes to the things that I'd wished I'd said, or the things that I didn't get to teach my daughter, and would she even remember me, and who's going to clean up all my crap downstairs. The thing is, I don't really take selfies, and whenever there's any filming to be done on days out, I'm usually the one behind the camera. And when I look back over my old YouTube videos, I realise that that's the only videos there really are of me. So should the unforeseen happen, I want to be able to leave a little piece of myself for my daughter should she ever need it. But that being said, I still don't plan on doing much of this one-to-one with the camera, as I don't plan on being the main attraction. But every now and then I might be dropping in little bits of information, like what good books I've been reading or what good podcasts I've been listening to, etc. So I hope you'll all join me on this journey. My plan is to upload every Friday afternoon, and I'm bursting with ideas of things I want to learn and make, so I will never run out of video ideas. Not all of them will be everybody's cup of tea, but hopefully at least one video will pique your interest and inspire you. So if you follow along, I promise there'll be more Dolly adventures, as well as a wild array of other random crafts and projects. Some of the first few videos you might see might be DIY based stuff. Some I've actually recorded already of my daughter's bedroom, as well as the odd short with some random craft projects. I have one more major DIY project I'm working on, and that's my workshop. So far we've emptied it out and taken the roof off, but at this point it has plants growing out of it. We're slowly building up the funds and materials to work on it, and I can't wait to have all my craft supplies and tools in one place, and to finally have a separate place to work from instead of the dining table. Some other more crafty things you can expect to see in future videos will possibly be a little spoon carving and working with wood. I've also been getting into stone carving, and I'm super buzzed about that because every now and then I find crystals on the mountain. So I'd like to start making jewellery again. As far as jewellery making goes, until my workshop is set up, I have this temporary little bench set up in the garden. I used to make silver dog jewellery, which is something I'd really like to get back into. I just need to find a silver supplier here in Portugal, as well as a casting company. I'm really looking forward to expanding the breed selection. I've also been playing around with both animal and plant fibres, and I'm really excited about delving more into that. I made a little drop spindle when I was given a bag of raw fleece from a friend in our village. Since then I was gifted a little spinning wheel, which has been great fun getting to know, but I'm still not there yet. Also, some other things I'll be working on: some sewing, dyeing with plants, felting. Making earth pigments. Some garden projects. And a whole lot of foraging for treasures of all sorts. I would say that I'm more of a repurposer than an upcycler, but I love turning old junk into something useful. With regards to dolls and dolly projects, let me show you all the dolls that I currently have in my collection. So obviously I still have my 3 girls here. This is my Mini Fee Shushu, my Fairyland Mini Fee Chloe, and my Fairyland Little Fee Mio, whose name's Mia. There is a crow. It's on the table. It keeps falling off. I've given up with that. So these dolls are usually out on display. I've put them in different areas throughout the house, but they currently live here on this shelf by the television. One thing I'd like to do is fix up the old wagon that I made years ago, which is currently in pieces in a box downstairs. Although I do have the kitchen storage part on the wall in our front room, because why not? And then I'd really like to set it all up one day, the wagon, the teepee, the raft, in some beautiful location somewhere. And who knows, maybe even one day I might even make life-size versions. I also have my Blythe dolls, which sometimes they've been out on display, but at the moment they've been living in their boxes. I also have some A-Zone dolls, which are sometimes out on display as well. At the moment they are currently behind me in a little box, and I have some, I don't know if you can see just there, I'll do you a little close-up of those. And I have my Real Fee Pano, who has got the cutest little face. I haven't done much with him. In fact, I think I made him a jumper and that was about it. But he lives right here on this mushroom lamp in our front room. I also have another Real Fee Pano that I bought online because she was a really good price, but I'm sad to say she has been living in a box and I haven't really done much with her. I don't know, maybe my best option would be to do some sort of swapsies and get a different faceplate for her so that I can have 2 little Real Fees sitting on their little mushroom log. I also have my Doll Chateau Larry Snail. This is Paz. He lives permanently on the wall in our front room. He is so cute. And because I love this doll so much, I bought another one. I don't know if I've shown anyone this project, but here he is. So he's going to be a little old man snail with an entire village living on his back. I've only done one side of his back at the moment. I'll do some close-up footage so you can see. I started this project a long time ago and I really want to get around to finishing it because I don't know, I love it. I love it. If you look inside, there's I put little tiny pieces of furniture and tables and pictures and post boxes outside. Oh, and also it lights up. So the plan is he's going to be a little old man with a walking stick and he's going to have a long white beard and long white hair, and on the other side of his shell I'm going to have another village kind of growing out on supports just to balance him up a bit, really. So yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to finishing and getting done. And some other unfinished projects, I'm not sure if I've shown anyone, is My Doll Chateau Emmy Ant, and my currently in pieces Doll Chateau Ada. These guys are going to be part of another character project, Mr. McClectic and his wandering emporium of curiosities. For this one I wanted to make a tiny little ball jointed doll, a little old man that travels around with an old caravan cart that converts into his travelling bazaar. I've started making some of his curiosities, but I haven't yet got around to making him, or finishing off these guys. These guys are essentially going to be part of the curiosities themselves, but they'll also be pulling the cart. So yeah, that's something I want to work on. Anyway, that's it guys. Thank you for staying around and checking out this video. Please don't be shy in the comments and come and say hello. I'm not sure if I'm going to be leaving this video up permanently, as I'm planning on making another more introduction type video for the channel. But again, I just wanted to say hi and make this one a little more personal. So I'm wishing you all a fantastic week, and I hope to see you next Friday. Bye.